Hello, hello. How is everyone doing today? Just want to make sure that you guys can hear me okay, you can see me all right. Please put it into the chat, let me know. I am in a slightly different environment right now, so I had to move the whole system. So just let me know if it works. Everything's okay. Super. Thanks for that, Vel. Hey, Kaz. Hey, Diana. Thank you. Hey, Am. How you doing? Very nice. Hi, BL. Hey, Carsten. See, many of you did tune in bright, nice and early. So it's good to have you all with me. I was planning to keep it running until 8 o'clock before I get started. Then it suddenly, I felt that little bit of urgency, just thinking that I had to get started a little bit earlier because the news is at 8:30. I'm just worried that I can't get through all the information. So wanted to make sure that, we get properly set up. Hey Nor, how you doing? Hey Gusto. Hey Solid Snake. Okay, so as usual, a quick disclaimer. Any information contained or information, context, opinions which are expressed are those of the presenter, myself, and are solely used for educational purposes. They do not constitute investment advice and or consultation on how a client should trade. So please remember what we are doing tonight my time, it's 8 p.m. GMT plus 8, is we will be looking at the non-farm payroll news event. We will be looking at entering some trades. I will be on TradingView. I have my trades open here, my trading platform open here. So entering some trades together if the conditions are right. If it doesn't, then we'll go through the whole process of analyzing and learning from it. So please, if you do jump into any trades, make sure you do your own due diligence before you jump into any trades. And also, just as you all saw at the start, this is brought to you with Equity Global Markets. They are the sponsoring or the partner broker that brought you this live stream. So if you can, and if you have not already, scan the QR code there or join the Discord channel. The link will be there for you all to sign up with an equity trading account. We were sharing with you some of the features there. You can always ask more questions in the Discord channel about equity as a brokerage. So help me out. Look to switch your trading accounts. Look to get started with a trading account on equity, and we'll get more and more live stream and live trading events together. Okay. So with that, 8 p.m. First time I'm getting started right on time. Okay, so we have here the Forex Factory. In case you guys stumbled upon this and you're wondering what is this session all about, right? We are trading the news event at 8:30 GMT plus 8. We do have the US non-farm employment change number to be released. The non-farm employment change number is released every first Friday of the month. So we're very lucky to be able to catch the 1st of September being the first Friday of the month, being a holiday in Singapore because it is presidential election polling day. All the stars are aligned. Let's hope that we see some good volatility in the prices so that we get some good trade setups. Okay, if you agree, put it into the chat. Let me know. Let's see how we take it. Let's keep this a bit more interactive. Hey, Robbie, how you doing? So with that, as we were sharing, we still do our 3 o'clock session, but we have here the average hourly earnings month to month for the US. Again, it was 0.4%. We're expecting, or market is expecting it to drop to 0.3. You see that they have pretty much for the last 1 to 3 months been at 0.4%, expecting it to drop to 0.3. In June, it dropped, and then in July, it got revised back up to 0.4. Expected to drop to 0.3 or to stay at 0.3 back then. Went up to 0. Stayed at 0.4. Again, in August, 0.4. Expected 0.3. Stayed at 0.4. So now the question here is this going to stay at 0.4 or is it going to drop down to 0.3? Put into the chat, what do you think? 0.4 or 0.3? My view, what I think is that it's possibly going to be at 0.4. Right? And actually, while I'm thinking about it being at 0.3 or 0.4, it really might not make too much of a difference. Right? Average hourly earnings signals wage inflation. It signals wage inflation, which we have seen for the US dropping slightly already. So it might be at 0.3, but it's not going to make too much of a difference. The main focus is still back to this number, the non-farm employment change, which on Tuesday we saw the JOLTS job openings, there's a big hint there, go from 9.17. It was revised from 9.58 to 8.83. Big drop in job openings for the previous month. And then ADP non-farm, again, not a perfect correlation to the non-farm payrolls, but ADP non-farm employment change number went from 324, revised up to 371, but significantly lower than expected at 194, came out at 177. So big downside on both the JOLTS and the ADP number, which we saw the drop in the dollar. So fast forward to today on Friday, the non-farm payroll numbers. It looks like, and we did this earlier today at 3 p.m., a consensus view that we're most likely going to see a lower non-farm employment change number. I was even thinking that it might come down to that 145 number. Okay? And unemployment rate likely to stay at 3.5%. So how to trade the news? Basically, as much as we are doing our analysis here, expecting maybe weaker dollar, weaker non-farm employment numbers, which could lead to a weaker dollar. The way to really try and take advantage of this is to have both the good news scenario, which trades to look out for, and the bad news scenarios, which trades to look out for, so that if, for example, this comes out at 200, right, we're not going to sit there and go, oh, it's gone against whatever we expected. We don't know what to do. We're going to have, if it's a good non-farm number, if we see the dollar strength coming into play, we know which trades we're going to be looking for. And then if we see a bad non-farm number and we see that dollar weakness come into play, then we know which trades we're looking for. All right, makes sense so far? Let me know. And I see a lot of you watching, but not many people clicking that little thumbs up button. So if you can help me out, click thumbs up, smash that like button, smash that subscribe button as well, and if you haven't, sign up for an account. All right, so now with all that said, we're in the good, stronger dollar scenario and weaker dollar scenario. Let's look at the charts. I'm going to move, so this is our 3 p.m. session, which I'm going to move away for now because it's taking up some space. All right, and at 3 p.m. this afternoon, we were looking at this right at that point there. Right, we were looking for the dollar to, it was pushing down strongly. I was thinking, hey, if it breaks below 103.45, we're going to see it come down towards at 61.8 level, possibly break 103.15, and then maybe even lower. But it hasn't happened yet. It's been bouncing, or it's been consolidating right between 103, about 103.50 and 103.70. So it's well within that range, which we can see about there. All right, which actually gives us a good opportunity, lack of a better word, right? Gives us a good setup, because what happens here is that if we do see a stronger dollar on the surprising note, if we do see a stronger dollar, then a push up breaking above that 61.8 level could confirm or signal a further upside. With that resistance nearby of 104, we might even see the dollar push up towards that 104.40 level. Good evening, Desiree. How are you doing? If you're all if anyone's in Singapore, put it into the chat. Let me know. Let me know where you're joining in from. I love to find out. Especially if you're in Singapore and you've done your voting already. Okay, so if we do see a surprising dollar strength, we could, we'll wait for it to break above 103.80. To be super safe is 104, but we could see it trade up towards that 104.40 level. And if not, breaking down, I would say that it needs to go below 103.45, and then we could see, I'm not sure about 102.80 so much right now. I think we could see it come down towards 102.90, right? 90 and 80, not a big difference, but we're looking for that direction. And what if the news is mixed? Very good question there, Lee. So what if the news is mixed? Then it's at this point, it seems a little bit unlikely that the news is going to be mixed. But if the news is mixed, then we're going to be focusing on the chart itself. We're going to be looking at the price movements, the volatility. What, instead of the news being mixed, I think what could happen on the flip side is that we could have a good news scenario or a bad news scenario, and we see price move in reverse. So we might see a bad non-farm number and we see the dollar shoot up, right? If that happens, then we have a different way to address that approach as well, or to approach that setup as well. Okay, so I'll get to that. Good. All right, so look at this. I do. This is I'm more tempted to see that happen. I would love to see that happen more than that push up. Okay. So now when we look at the charts, this is the Kiwi dollar on the H1 time frame. I would maintain this view that if we do see that dollar strength turn back, and I'm probably going to mess up all my charts for the Monday session, but we'll live with that. I'll take that away. Okay, what I'm actually looking at here now on the Kiwi dollar is that the reaction along this resistance level is going to be crucial. Okay, what we might see, and this is down to Lee's question, is what if it's mixed, or what if the price action is mixed? I think that we might see some push up and then back down again. So I'll look at this as that potential. If we see the dollar weakness suddenly, and then maybe a push, a strength back up again. But ultimately, I'm also looking for this to push up. Okay, so this is on H1 time frame. What I would be looking for, and this is how I would do it. I would have my levels there. So what I do, I look at it on H1 time frame first, then I'll look at it into the 15-minute, and then right when the news is released, I'll look at it on the M1 time frame as well. So I like that because of the 50% level. Okay, so to me, how I look at this is that for the Kiwi, put that here, right? And we'll say that this is for NFP. So we'll say that Kiwi and ZD USD has upside good weaker. We look to buy on weaker USD DXY, right? But there is also a chance for a reversal at resistance. Small chance. Then, so I have that set up. I know what I'm looking for already. Then I'll look at the Aussie dollar. Right, this afternoon we're saying that we're looking for it to break down, possible breakdown on the Aussie if we see surprising dollar strength, because a push to the upside on the Aussie might not be worth it. Not a lot of space to the next resistance unless it breaks above this point. Okay, so Aussie, I'll be looking for, is very similar to, possibly quite similar to what we were talking about. Sell on stronger DXY. So I've got 15 minutes to get through this list for now. This is still going to be sell on weaker DXY. So, okay, wait, let me do this. Weaker XY, I'll be looking to buy ZD. Okay, then we can say stronger DXY, I'll be looking to sell D, and then I'm also looking to sell USD JPY. Okay, there we have it. We'll do it that way. Hold that. Okay, so that's how we'll look at that while looking at the pound dollar. Right, so while I'm only looking to sell the US yen down, it is already trending to the downside since 29th of August. We're looking for this to push down, break that levels and come down. So I'm happy with that. Pound dollar still sitting there. Compare it to euro dollar. Came back down, pushing back up. Okay. I'll revise my euro and look for the entry along 108.60. 108.60 to the upside, bouncing off this support. And then maybe I'll even flip the view on the pound dollar that we could be looking to sell this down on stronger dollar. All right, so why I'm thinking of that is because it's been pushing down, might have that trend line there providing some resistance to sell back down. So again, on a weaker dollar, we could be looking to buy the Euro USD up, and we'll be looking on a stronger dollar to sell the pound dollar to the downside. Okay, then that question from Smart Express about the pound yen, right, did not push up because the pound dollar did not push up. So we can take that away, in fact, and looking at the way it's moving, dollar yen pushing down, pound dollar possibly pushing down, maybe you would be looking for it to break that support to the downside towards that equal low of about, I can't draw a straight line, of about 183.50 for that downside push on the pound yen. For me, I don't look at the cross pairs during the non-farm payrolls or during the big news events, because the non-farm payroll is a US dollar event. Because it's a US dollar event, then I'll try and keep it a little bit more simple, keep it a little bit more straightforward. I'll focus on the US dollar pairs predominantly. Unless nothing happens, then we'll start looking at something else. Okay? And then onto the US Swiss franc. Sitting right there, it's not doing anything. It's sitting right there. We could be looking for this to, it's right in the middle. I wouldn't be too keen. I was thinking whether you could look to get in if it breaks out of that point, but I think that there are other opportunities to be had. Hey Stefan, how are you doing? while the US CAD is bouncing, right? US CAD is bouncing. That I think we can take away. US CAD, I'll look at it on a dollar strength scenario because look at how it's bounced off. Firstly, 17th of August, 21st of August, 24th of August, 31st, and now the 1st of September. Looks like it's gone down, grabbed some liquidity, pushing back up. What you could be looking for here is for the pound dollar to push up towards that 1.358485 resistance level. How it would look would be like that, right? 30 to about almost 60 pips to the upside. That will make sense for the US CAD to the upside. Okay, so then we're looking at this being onto a stronger dollar. We could be looking to buy the US CAD to the upside. Diana is already in the US CAD halfway, aiming at 40 pips. I think that if you are aiming at 40 pips, maybe, depends on how much profit you're in right now. Maybe, again, disclaimer applies, but maybe consider a break-even stop loss level, and then after that looking for it to push all the way to the upside. Something to consider, something to consider. Hey Dominic, how are you doing? Okay, so it might be if you were entered at that point, for example, right now you would be about maybe 12 pips in, right? Or a little bit early. London session was about there. So you might be about almost 15 pips in. I think if it's 15 pips in, then I wouldn't move my stop loss. It's just a bit too near, right? I might minimize on the stop loss level, but you don't want to be wicked out of it as well. Okay, so now with that, just check something. Second. Somewhere my stop loss is tight. Yep. Okay, good. Keep the stop loss tight. It is a news event. With that, I lost my train of thought. Okay, so how I'll look at this now is that on a non-farm payroll, give me a second there. Sorry, a second. That was the dinner call. No worries, Diana. That was the dinner. Okay, so now with that, what we're looking at here is the for the non-farm payroll. Okay, weaker dollar. You guys like that one? Hey, Mark. Hello. All right, so for the weaker dollar, we're looking to buy the Kiwi up. We're looking to sell the US yen down. We're looking to buy the euro dollar up. And a stronger DXY would be looking to sell the dollar, the Aussie, sell the pound, buy the US CAD. And remember, this is not do everything. This is not do everything. This is choose. It's not something that you're going to do all. You're going to go enter all three trades on. Okay, so now looking at this, then I would be thinking that on the Kiwi dollar, looking to buy this up, looking at it on M15 time frame. I'm going to take some of these lines away. Too messy. For this to push up beyond the resistance, I'll be happy with that. Let me just have a look. That makes sense. Okay, M15. Then onto the US yen, sell this down. Right, I will be watching that 145 level. We'll take that away. I'll be watching this 145 level for it to break before we'll see the downside. We got 9 minutes to the news, so we'll watch for that. Then on the pound dollar, on the euro dollar, we're looking to buy it up for that bounce. I like that very much. What happened to my euro dollar? That took a while to load. Then I only look to get in past that point. Okay. So it depends on how you like to do it. Sometimes, because it is new into the month, what I tend to do is to be a little bit safer. So I'm very safe at the start of the month. I'm very safe at the end of the month. It's only in the middle, if I start having some profit buffer, that I'll take a little bit more risk. Why I say that is because sometimes I would be looking at is to enter a trade before the news, right? Before the news, just to try and catch the big overall move. Not something I would suggest to most of you guys, but if you're able to manage, or you have some capital to risk profit, able to take advantage of, that's something that you might consider as well. Okay, so now we have about 7 minutes to the news event. Let me know if you are Let me know if you got any questions. Hey Rita, how you doing? Hey Soon, good to have you with us. And if you're joining the session right now, drop a message and say hi. I'm just going to chill for 7 minutes. Went through that quite quickly, right? And then I know that once it comes out, we're going to be all out. Hey Dominic. All right. So any trades that you guys are looking at, let me know. Any trades that you guys are looking at. Hey Brockman. I really like, I'm looking at this news. I'll probably read it a bit later. Joseph Stiglitz, one of my idols. One of my idols. Almost chose a uni, or chose to go to a uni because of him. I'm struggling to see some good setups today. I think the news is blurring everything. It does not look very easy today, right? I actually think that if we see a stronger dollar, I might urge that caution of not trading. I'm possibly more tempted to see a weaker dollar, like I've been saying through the session. Any possible trade for CAD yen for 2 CAD news? Have a look at, do I have CAD yen right there? Look at the way the CAD yen is doing on the H1 time frame. Definitely looking for it to break past this point. Yen dropping to the downside. Had weakness on the possible weakness on the GDP number, could push this lower. Hey, this might be a good one there soon. I think that this might be a possibility. Again, you notice that I don't have any lines there because I haven't done this, but it could be looking to go from 107.30 down towards 106.60. The only thing that I'm a little bit concerned of is why is it moving so much before the news event? Yeah, 107.27 or 107.30 needs to break past that point, close below that point, before we'll see that downside. How do you handle the spikes? We wait. So I got 4 minutes for that. What I typically look for, just using some, so one is, yes, you can front run it, right? Or what I look for is a shoot up, come back down, and then a push back up. If I'm a little bit aggressive, I'll enter at that point. If I'm a little bit safer, I'll enter after that break. Or if it breaks down, then for a retrace, then I'll enter halfway through that or beyond that point. So I'll be looking for those scenarios or to front run it. And also I'll look for it to break past near-term swing levels. Gold is moving in both directions. I wouldn't go into gold right now. I think that it looks like a push up, but then I think that we'll be a bit more careful. I think we have a lot of things to look at already. Do we enter with stop orders? What's a stop order? And no, not what's a stop order. I mean, not with a stop order. I would do it on a market execution. So I have my chart, my platform running here because it's going to spike like what Lee was asking, right? It's going to spike. It's going to hit if it spikes and it hits your orders, then it's not worth because you're not entering at a point where you have decided a good place to get in. You might just spike up, come back down, and back up again to hit your order. It's not worth getting into that. Okay. Frog was asking about gold again. Gold still maintaining that view. If we do see that dollar weakness scenario, then gold currently at 1945, just under 1960. I wanted to break 1960 to push towards 1955 on dollar weakness scenario. If it pushes back down, I'll be careful because it is significantly counter trend, so I'll be more careful on that. I need to enter on euro dollar. How will I do that? Well, firstly, you don't ever need to enter on euro dollar. It is currently at 108.45. We have an entry price level at 108.60. I would say that looking at it on M15 time frame, if it pushes up, then we could be looking. We do have some space to take that decision to push it to the upside. All right, and at this point, 1 minute to the news. I'll put on the Bollinger Bands just to see how it's outside of Bollinger Band as well. Okay, hold the breath and let's see what happens. 30 seconds. 9 months 120. That would mean I'm going to skip dinner if it's at 120 because I'm just going to be trading order. 10 seconds. Right, we're looking at the numbers. We're not going to rush into it. We're going to stay calm, stay collected, look at the numbers, and then look at the price movements, then make a decision. A couple of decisions. You guys might be getting it faster than I am. Go up, put it into the chat, let me know. Pending. Anyone got a number yet? All right, so pound, the CAD is at minus 0.2%. Still not out yet. Down. Oh wow, wow! Look at unemployment rate at 3.8. Average hourly earnings down. That's shooting down right now. I still want to see what that number is going to be. That's a big one. 3.8 to a 3.5 expected. 3.5 previous. It's a big one. We're seeing the dollar push to the down. The dollar index push to the downside right now. 187 is slightly higher than. That's a bit odd. Slightly higher than previous or than expected, and staying at previous. So like Lee was asking, what happens if it's a mixed news here? We're going to see this because it's a 3.8 on the unemployment. I think what we're going to see is that push to the downside on the dollar index. All right, so now looking at this, take that away. right? The euro dollar is pushing up. I want to check it on a 1 minute time frame. It is way outside. So remember, the pattern that I'm looking for is that move. So I'm looking for this. It's pushed up. Is it going to retrace in the next minute before pushing higher? Again, scrolling through, we're looking at the Kiwi, Kiwi dollar pushing up above that resistance as well. So that's doing good. M5. I expect to see some level of retrace that's pushing down all the way. We might even be looking at further downside here on the, okay, look at that. So that's why I was looking at it. It got revised down to 157, right? So it got revised down to 157. Looking at this push up, it is retracing. Don't rush into the trade. Let it retrace. What did you close? What trade did you close, Naeem? Right? Look, looking for that push. So now we saw it push up. We're looking for it to come back down or possibly pushing back up again. It needs Kiwi dollar here on a 1 minute time frame needs to come back into that Bollinger Band, which is just done. So we're looking for this to push back. Sit there, or do this. It's in this phase right now before it needs to push back up. This is doing very well. All right. So I'm looking at the US yen right now pushing down. So will we buy? Yes, I am looking at that. Hang on a second. Looking at this, you know, if you were looking at the US yen to the downside, this is it. Euro dollar pushing up. 1 minute time frame is done. It's done that on a less dramatic scale, right? We saw a push up, retrace, and now pushing back up. What I would be looking for is for this candle to close. Okay, I'll be looking for this to close above this point. So I want this candle to close above this point. It's pushing, it's not closed yet. I want it close above this point before I'll be looking to buy it up. Okay, still sitting there, and as long as it sits there failing to break, we might actually see the euro dollar retrace back down. We are 1 minute away from the 5 minute close, which is way outside of Bollinger, so we might see this retrace a little bit deeper. Kiwi dollar is pushing up. Okay, I missed $1. You could be looking at that push. I mean, euro dollar, since you guys are amazing that you hold on. I used to do that too. You hold on to your trades through the event. Steve is on a straddle on the euro dollar break even set. Very good. I want to do this. I want to keep dollar. I want this. Okay, I want dollar. Gonna come back. It has to come back in this range here. Dollar big push upside. Not keen unless it gets to that. Looks to break that resistance of 6530. US yen is down there already. We spoke about this on at 3 o'clock this afternoon. Okay. Euro dollar and US yen making some good profits running. Thanks, Jaden. No worries, piano. I'm happy you did that. Will you say on what you get in and when? Yes, I will actually be putting in the this kind of things when I don't know what's that called. That red and green thing when I get in. right? I'm looking at that. It was 1/4 of the position size I usually do. I plan to hold a trade during. Yes, very good there. Royds, always size it down when you're entering trade. I do size it down when you're entering during a new. I do size it down when I entering the new. Well, euro dollar. Look at that. I'm just, as I'm trading this with you guys, or as I'm looking to trade this with you guys, I'm actually taking a lot more caution than I usually would. Just because I'm afraid that you guys might be following and there might be a little bit of a lag on this. US CAD pushing back up. So that I would say is not a scalping trade, right? I would look at that to close. That's fine. I like this. I like the key to the upside, especially if it breaks past that point. We haven't missed on euro. Euro is still there. We haven't missed on euro. Right? I look at it coming back down before pushing back up again. Up to now, US dollar still in range. Take care, or may see huge. Yeah, that Ahmed, you got it. That's actually why I haven't fired anything out yet. It's pushing down, but there is still that for a couple 20 minutes for it to break past this point. I'm watching to see if it's going to push back up. If you look at this on the 4th of August, where was it? On the 4th of August at that point, what was it? The news right there. No, that didn't happen there. Continue the downside. Push. On which time frame do you look for that zigzag? I on all time frames. So if I were to, I actually just figured that I probably shouldn't do a 1 minute scalp with you guys. Might send the wrong message. I would probably stay on the 5 and 15. But if I were looking at it on a 1 minute, then same thing. I'll be looking for that move on the 1 minute, right? Or even on the 5 minute, you see that I'm still looking for that move to happen as well. That's why I wanted to come back into that Bollinger. On the 15, we haven't seen the 15-minute candle close yet. We're looking for it to do that. Okay. Diana Cat moving to my target after I closed. US Cat is doing very well. Did you close the trade? It probably shot down and hit your break even stop level or tight stop. It looks like it's pushing up. There you go. Look at the euro. Right, this is why you can be a little bit patient on the, especially on the euro. Way outside Bollinger, it's coming back in. This is on a 5 minute time frame. You're welcome, Carsten. Oh, okay, you closed manually, Diana. See, so I'm not rushing into this. Tracing, dollar retracing as well. So this is on the 5 minute time frame, guys. We are still looking for that move, which is retracing back to the Bollinger. Importance. I love trading with the Bollinger. It just gets you right, because if you got into that point, if you look at 1 minute and you say, great, it's pushing up, I want to get in, and you look at a 5 minute, it's right out there. What would have happened is you would have bought right at that point. That's a 13 pip stop loss level, or even if you had a 20 pip stop loss, you're halfway to your stop loss. The Bollinger Band saves that heartache. Now let's scroll through. Look, right? It came very close to the resistance retrace. US yen, right, guys? Remember I was telling you H1 time frame, I felt that it was going to come to 144.50. Go replay this afternoon's video. I was saying 144.50. We'll probably see it rebound back up and then come back down again. So it touched 144.50. Now it's rebounding back. Still looking for that sell, and main thing, H1 time frame way outside Bollinger. I feel that every time I do a session like this, especially for when it's online, I feel like we have to get into a trade. But I'm also trying to, um, like what Bell is saying right now, you don't have to always enter a trade during the news. Pound dollar is retracing back. This is not something I'm thinking of at all to push to the upside. Needs a lot. I mean, it needs a lot of time, right? It needs a lot of time here on the pound dollar. Euro dollar, I like the euro dollar. Just needs to push up a little bit. 50% level that it did. That one's been broken. Just needs to break above that 23.6. Take that one down to 23.6. Needs to close above that. Could see this push up further. US CAD Diner is not very happy right now because the US CAD is continuing to push to the upside. This is because what we saw here was the minus 0.2% on the CAD GDP. While some news here, but overall, it shouldn't push that strongly to the upside. I'm actually thinking, looking at this, I'm actually thinking that we might see a retrace on the CAD. And that's why I stopped doing news events for a while, is because I really, it's good, and I enjoy it. I love trading the news events, but I know that a lot of people find difficulty in the news events, right? So make sure your analysis is good as you build along that analysis, build that experience, then that helps with your eventually some news. But I've had clients who told me that they would only want to trade a non-farm payroll, or only want to trade a news event. Not sustainable. I don't think that's a good idea. I think that it's better to have a more well-rounded approach rather than just trying to catch big moves during the news. Okay, and with trading the news, you have normal trading discipline level is that high. Trading a news event, discipline level has to be like beyond what you can see on my hands, right? Why? Is because it's a volatile situation. It's a news situation, and if you don't follow your discipline, look at what happened here on the dollar index. Big shootout. You would have tried to sell everything or buy everything across, and now it's retracing back to the Bollinger Band again. Yeah, and Surin knows. Surin has been a client of mine since many years ago. And we used to sit live together, side by side, shoulder to shoulder, trading a news event or trading in general together. Right? So, euro dollar 5-minute is back down. Dollar 5-minute, good. I like this because it's back to that 0.6 level, round number level. Gone past the 15-minute, and you see that it's pushing. New 15 minutes. I think this could catch up. Sit there a little bit. Could catch up. Euro dollar is going down again. It's bouncing back up. Right? It's going down because of that Bollinger Band, that retrace, but it's in that extreme. So this is the example. A couple of you were asking, based on that zigzag, where I would look at this, what we've seen is that push up, zig, and the zag right now. If I were being aggressive, I'll look at entry about that point, which is about now. If not, then I'll be looking at maybe a bit high. Out of there. Look for it to close past that point. If not, then I'll be looking for it to go past that high point, which is about there. Okay, so that's what I would be looking for. That euro dollar. Kiwi. From what I'm looking at, I like the Kiwi, I like the euro, and I like the yen. Yen possibly only if it breaks past this point. 104.50. Breaks past 104.50. I like the yen. What do you look for when you're entering the euro dollar? Needs to break past this point or break past this point. Those two price levels. Guys, if you can help me out, do click that like and subscribe button. I know I'm saying it a lot of times, but if you haven't already, help me out, click that. Don't click it too many times because it unclicks. That's what's going to happen on the euro dollar. Okay, there we go. There we go. On wait for that 2 minutes. Is that pushing up? Thank you, Lizni. I like the key. Could be. Needs to close. Needs to close. Not enter yet. Okay. This being doesn't close above. 1 more minute for that. For the 5-minute candle. Close above. Euro dollar. If you're being aggressive, you could get in on that. You're most welcome there, Smart Fool. I feel bad for calling you Smart Fool. Smart. Most welcome there, Smart. Then add to close. So look, the dollar index is pushing back down again. That's why we're seeing a resumption of all the trend to the upside. Okay, so 1 more minute for the euro dollar to close above this point on a 5-minute candle. Could be looking to get in here. Could be looking at this. Then I wouldn't. Could be looking at that. So 20 to 40 to the upside there. Okay, give me a second. In. Okay, I'm in on the euro, but I have it at 30 to 6. Let me adjust that a little. Okay. So now I have my trade run. Looking at then I've got this 50 to 20. Right? It might not work out. It might not work out, but it's on. I sized it down very significantly. So let's see how it goes from there. I hit my first trade on a live stream, news live stream with you guys to be a loss. But if it happens, it happens. I just really wanted to make sure that we get into something today. That's pushing back down a little bit. Dollar index just retracing a little bit right now. There is 9 minutes to the candle close on a 1 time frame. Euro dollar is pushing back down. If it comes back past this point, right? I highlighted this point as an entry. If it comes back past this point, then I could close it out. If it closes below this point, I could close it out just to minimize on it. Might come all the way back down. My first trade on the live stream might be a loss. Wait. What about the scenario where it goes up and come back down to the opposite side past the level of the news? How do you trade that? I would have to see why it's done that. Right? Why it's done that? Is it because of some changes in the news? Is it because of a technical level hit a resistance and turn back down? So it all depends on those kind of factors. If it does, if there was a factor that caused it to retrace, then or to correct to the other side, then I would say that I would be trading according to how price moves rather than trading according to what I expect on the news event. Okay, this is coming back. Doesn't look too good here. Might be closing that out. US yen bouncing back up, showing the dollar retracement right now. It's coming back in that level right there on the 15-minute time frame, back to Bollinger. Let that play out on the euro dollar. All right, any questions so far? Any feedback? Do let me know. Questions or feedback, please put it into the chat. If you enjoyed the session, please put it into the chat as well. A little bit of encouragement would be as good. Thank you, BL. Thanks, Naeem. Thanks, Jason. And guys, remember, it is Friday. Right after this at 10 p.m., we do have the ISM manufacturing PMI number for the US. Could cause some volatility. Just remember that as we head into the weekend, please close out your trades. Don't hold it over the weekend. There might be some craziness happening over the weekend. So do remember to close out your trade, especially after this big news event. And one more thing is that if you guys have not heard about the news already, there was a big news that was released about my Forex funds, right? Thank you, Robbie. Hey, and you guys, help me out. If you haven't already, go sign up for an equity account. Let's keep this going. Let's get more sessions happening. All right. So nice to virtually sit next to you on your trading desk. Thank you so much. Go watch the video. I'll send a video in there. Chat. We'll catch out that video as well. Going back down. I'm at Riyadh Airport right now, trading with you. My brother's waiting to pick me up for an hour. Enjoying this session. Too much to move. I think I should move. Hey, the next time I am in your neck of the woods, I'm gonna drop you a message. We'll go catch up. We can sit at the Riyadh Airport side by side and trade together. How about that? Do you normally watch how the market settles after the news with the new hour and possibly take a trade then? Yes, you can. That would be the best way to do it. That's actually the best way to do it. This news event, I find that sometimes I try and force out trades just to experience it for you guys. But the best way to do it is maybe the next time we'll do this news event, we'll look at this, and if not, then at the end of the hour, we'll look to get into a trade after the dust has settled. Okay, I think that I'm going to close out this trade on euro. It could go back up, but it's going to be a little bit bouncing around, bit risky. Fine. Yeah. I do think it's going to go up. I think that it's going to go up, but it might retrace a bit deeper than I would like. So I would probably think that it's going to do this. Come back down a lot more. Okay, so because of that, I'm out of the euro for 15 loss, 10 pip loss, but we live to go for another day, to trade another day. I really wanted that first session to be a good one, but euro dollar could be forming W and make an up. Yes. It coming back down a lot more to test before pushing. Oops. We press the button. Yeah, there you go. I like times like this. I'm happy I closed out, saving a couple of pips, but it would have gone down and hit my stop loss there. Okay, guys. So with that said, I hope you had a good session. If you haven't already, please help me out. Go sign up for an account with Equity, and also I'll see you on the Discord channel. If you have any further questions or discussions, take there. Right, this is recorded. It is live on YouTube, so you can always rewatch the stream again. Look at that, close it out and it bounces back. So have a good weekend, take care now, trade well, trade safe, and I'll see you on Monday, same time, same place. Care now.